Alright guys from YouTube, this is Caboose Z250, and a lot of you guys were asking about like a 1-year update on my IBUYPOWER buy. Well, so far, as you can see, it is running, so that's a good plus. Over a year I had some driver issues, and that was about it. I don't really blame IBUYPOWER for it, more like Nvidia problems. Around tax time here, I felt ambitious and started upgrading some. You can see in here I added another fan to the top. The original Nvidia GTX 460 Zotac Amp Edition, which you can see here in the plastic non-static bag, was getting a little toasty, and I had to go and use MSI Afterburner as a way to turn the fans up. Not really a problem per se, I just didn't like how hot it was running. It was running like 70 degrees Celsius, so I turned it so like more like 65. It wasn't bad. So I'll pop the case off here and I'll show you what upgrades I did. You have to excuse, I don't have much computer room, you see. I still have the blue neons in it. Those are still sweet. Here you'll be able to see I got an MSI Nvidia GTX 580 Twin Frozer 2 edition, and this card barely fits in the case. I wasn't sure about airflow, but it seems to be doing alright. The thing runs at like 50 degrees Celsius most of the time. Battlefield 3 will push it up towards like 67, so not worried about it. The top fan's helping out. I also upgraded, see if I can block some of this light here. Yeah, you can see it, an Antec 850 continuous power supply. The original 700 watt power supply was still kicking and still good. I'm trying to sell it right now, but I figured if I got a new graphics card, I might as well get a new power supply just to be safe and for future upgrades. This one is pretty neat. Hold on. There we go, I'll just turn the neons off and grab a flashlight. This one you can see is modular, and it looks like hell because I'm not the best wire in the world. I did try to run the wires a little ergonomically. I ran most of them through the back side. There's still some tucked down in the front here. It's nasty, but for the most part it's good. I don't notice any heat issues, so I'm not too worried about it. Now here, if I can get a side view, I upgraded from the 6 gigs that I bought with IBUYPOWER to 18 gigs with GSkill DDR3 Ram. And I've noticed, well, a little bit of speed upgrade. Thing was fast to begin with, so I had extra money. I figured I might as well go with it. Yeah, so far this thing has been very nice to me. Oh, and I also got a Cyborg Rat3 mouse. It's a little weird to get used to, and some of the reviews weren't too nice to it, but I don't know, it hasn't broken on me yet in about 2 months. And it's only like $30, so I can't complain. I also got a Belkin, what does it say? N52 Tournament Edition gamepad. Works out real well for Battlefield 3 and most first-person shooters. I guess it's supposed to work really well for MMOs. I don't really play those too much. Just mostly first-person and a little bit of puzzle nonsense, Sims 3 maybe. I will warn you guys, the IBUYPOWER keyboard, it works, it functions, but it's crap. It's got the rubber, it's the rubber on the bottom, so the keys all feel dead when you push them and you don't know. It came with a computer, so how much can you really complain about it? But if you get some extra cash, upgrade it. I don't type papers anymore that much because I'm out of school, so you know, take that as you will. So far, something I did notice, and after some of you guys did tell me, these knobs were to control the fans. And I read that, and I hooked up all the wiring when I redid the power supply. They still don't do anything. I don't know if I did something wrong, or if they're just dead. I don't really care. I use aftermarket MSI to run all my fans anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm not sure how much longer you can get this case through IBUYPOWER or Newegg or anything like that, so be that as it will. Something I would like is maybe a Blu-ray player. I did notice on this case that I didn't notice before is that there is a panel underneath the power supply, underneath down here, the power supply, so that you can take the panel off and it's a dust screen. You can clean it out. So my house is pretty dusty. Hate the cat. Sheds like a madman. So clean it as much as you can. And I also noticed, I knew that there was a fan in here to begin with, but if you pop this whole front bezel off, there's a dust screen you can just attach and clean that out. Keep your fans running nice and happy. I will show you, this was the power supply unit that originally came with it. A Zion, kind of a no-name, I guess, when I was searching on Newegg for new ones. But it ran great. Everyone told me I was going to have problems because it wasn't a big brand name. I never had any issues with it. As you can see, non-modular, just all the cables are in a mess. So if you can spring for it, I think I paid $89 for the Antec. The modularity is great. Just wonderful. Yeah, so for the most part, the only real issues I had with my IBUYPOWER computer were graphics drivers from Nvidia. They'd fail, they'd crash, and I didn't know if it was part of the Asetec card that was doing it, but as you can see here, these are all graphics drivers updates that I had to play around with to get it. Now after I upgraded to the MSI, the Twin Frozer 2 580, absolutely no issues, runs great. It's cold. Let's see if I can bring that up. And we're at, we'll focus. It's an idle of 34 degrees GPU temperature. Say, I'm not sure if you focus on this, but core voltage 1025, core clock 800, core shader 1600, memory clock 2048, and I've got it set for auto fan speed, so MSI adjusts it as it sees fit. Haven't had any problems with that. Like I was saying with the Asetec, I had to set up my own profile to keep the card running a little cooler. I had to run Battlefield 3 on, what, not Ultra, but the next one down, good or whatever it was. It wasn't Ultra, it was just the next one down. And it still ran fine. I could run Skyrim on full tilt, although every now and then you got a little slowdown. I don't know if it was Skyrim or the card, but I don't know. I haven't had any issues since I upgraded, so maybe it's a little of both. Like I was saying, great computer. I've had a few people say they bought from IBUYPOWER lately on the old video, and so far I've heard good reviews. A couple of my buddies have buying from them. They haven't got theirs yet, they just ordered. So hopefully everything goes well for them. So, Still alive and kicking. Oh, I will warn you, if you get the Antec 850 with this case, it barely fits. I had to wedge it in there next to the light. All the mounting screws are in, so it's actually mounted the way it should be. It's just that the neon light is a very tight squeeze in there. I was going to move it, but I just kind of wedged it in and called it a good day. Water cooling still working great. I had a thought of mounting the fan on the outside to pull more air through, because right now I believe the fan pulls in, so it's all coming in and coming out the top fan, which I don't know if I could get more airflow kind of like this, but the card is so stinking big it blocks it. Yeah, other than that, running with the upgrade's great. I will warn you, I looked into something when I upgraded to 18 gigs of RAM. The Windows 7 told me only 16 gigs were usable, and I didn't know why until I looked it up, and basically that since there are about 1.5 gigs of graphics RAM, it also saves that out in the physical RAM up here. So I don't know why it does that, but I'm still running 16 gigs of usable. I mean, more than enough for gaming and everything. I had no problem on 6, so I figured why not. I guess you guys leave me some comments, like the video if you like it. Any questions, try to answer them. So I work like 10 hours a day, so I'll get to them as soon as I can. I know it probably looks like I don't do anything on my channel. So, alright, thanks a lot.